Hi, English students. This is Mrs. Peacock, and at this point, we need to look at the poetry essay, which is the next English 102 essay we'll cover. The poetry essay is, well, you'll read 4 poems, and you can choose your favorites to write a literary analysis essay. So you're essentially analyzing the literature and telling me your perspective on it. What stood out to you? What literary elements did you see that were present? How did the poem impact you as a reader overall? So the rough draft will be due Wednesday, June 26th by midnight in discussions. And just like we did for the research paper, you'll have peer review. And then the final draft will be due Wednesday, July 10th by midnight in the week 7 content folder. And this paper is worth 20% of your final grade. Essays should be at least 800 words in length, so not nearly as long as that research paper. The formatting is 12-point Times New Roman font, double spaced with MLA heading and style. It must have a works cited page with the literary works cited, and that's only the literary works that you write about. So if you write about 1 poem, you'll have 1 citation. If you write about 3 poems, you'll have 3 citations. But lucky you, I have done the works cited page for you with all of the literature cited based off of our textbooks. So the second page has the citations finished. Notice I don't want any outside sources for this paper, and that's because I want to know your interpretation of the literature, not what you found on SparkNotes or some blog online. I want to know what you genuinely think about the literature. So make sure that you only use yourself as a source, yourself in the poetry, of course, but no outside sources. It's the opposite of the research paper, where it was a lot of outside sources. I want you to challenge yourself to really analyze the literature yourself instead of depending on an outside source for your information. Here are some topic ideas you can use as a guide. This is still a 5-paragraph essay, so you'll still need an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. The 3 body paragraphs could be based off 3 poems. It could be that you choose 1 poem and you choose 3 literary elements that are in these topic ideas section. It really just depends on which poems or poems stood out to you, on which ones would work. So we have imagery, themes, love, how the author's message is or is not relevant, settings, symbolism, and nature. So say, for instance, you choose, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So you would, of course, be able to focus on love. It's a love poem, of course. Nature is very present. Not only is he comparing her to summer, but he compares her to the sun and a lot of nature elements. And then you could focus on how the author's message is or is not relevant today. Is this a type of love that you feel like is still relevant to a modern reader? So really just depending on which poem speaks to you as a reader and which literary elements you want to focus on, you can kind of sculpt your essay. But if you do have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to guide you through this as well. Notice there are page numbers for the poems, and that corresponds to your Norton textbook. So those page numbers will guide you to where those poems are located. The final draft late submission rule is the same as the research paper, where it's 10 points off every day late for that final draft. All of your final drafts will be graded using the English 102 grading rubric that's on that Getting Started page of Blackboard, and it will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software, so just make sure you write your own original essay. I've got a spot for brainstorming and outlining, which you're not required to do, but it's a good idea just to write out your ideas before you get started. And don't forget, we have a fantastic writing center who can tutor you online or in person, and they will be very helpful when you're writing, whether it's starting out writing or going over a rough draft with them, whatever step of the process you'll want to take with them. Essentially, they can help you at any step. So also, I'm here to guide you through this process. Depending on how much literary analysis you've done in the past, this may be your first time, or it could be it's been a little while, so I'm happy to guide you through this, answering questions as needed. If you're not sure where to start, you can always email me and touch base with me, because I'm happy to guide you through this. But I hope you like these poems. They're all very different. Those 2 Shakespeare sonnets are very different from one another, and then the 2 Browning poems as well. Robert Browning and Elizabeth Barrett Browning were actually married. But depending on your style of literature that you prefer, I've tried to choose a variety of poems that will speak to you. So if you do have any questions, please let me know, and have a wonderful day.